it was a good practice today, and I think that these morning practices are great for our team because we come out with a lot of energy and a lot of focus, and this is how we do it during school. Then it gives them the rest of the day to focus on their studies and tutoring and their mentors and things like that, and then we come back in the afternoon for meetings. But I think they like the morning practices. I like them, and I thought today was extremely productive. We're getting ready to play a very good Utah team, very tough, physical, disciplined, coming off of a difficult loss at home, so I know they'll have their neck up, and it'll be a great challenge. But I mean, one thing for us is to be able to get back home. 3 of our 4 games have been on the road, and the one game we did have at home, we had the largest crowd and opening day crowd in years at UCLA. I expect there'll be a great crowd again on Saturday night at 7:30, and that's fun for us. We draw off their energy, and we love playing at home. So great opponent, great venue, great crowd. Should be a great night.
How have you seen Travis Wilson improve since last year? I know he hasn't thrown any interceptions.
Yeah. Well, I've always had a lot of respect for him. Just think he's a solid, smart quarterback who, for a taller guy, and you might think he's gangly, but he can still run, and they do run him effectively. He looks like he's making great decisions. He has confidence in the offense. Every time you play a game, you gain that experience and you gain confidence. And anytime you go into a place like the Big House in Michigan and you get a win, that's going to do wonders for your psyche, I think, as a team. Not that I understand where they are or what they're doing, but just my perception would be it would really help you.
Anthony Jefferson obviously had a pretty good game last week. Is he going to be playing a little bit more corner, and what does he bring to that position as opposed to safety?
He's got great versatility, first of all, and you're right, because he played all over the field. He played right corner, left corner, he played both safeties. He didn't play any nickel, and he played very, very, very well. At corner, he brings size. He's long, he's got long arms, he's got height, he's got reach. He knows how to play the ball in the air. When we get bigger receivers, it's nice to put him out there and he can get his hands on them and bump and run. I think he's got his speed back. You guys saw him in high school. I didn't. What I've been told is he was a heck of a player in high school, and then he had the injury issues. And I mean, to his credit, the way he's fought through all that and come back, and the way he's playing last year and this year, it's awesome, man. You love to see it. And just his versatility is huge for us. Huge, huge.
Are guys going to keep moving around in the secondary depending on maybe what you see from offenses, or do you want a more settled combination there?
That's a great question. I think that we have to evaluate that every week. We do have some versatile players, though. Ishmael's a versatile player, and we just talked about AJ. He's a versatile player. And Jaleel, even though he's young, he has some versatility. You got to be a little more careful with him because you don't want to ask him to do too much. But we're always going to look for the best matchup. It's almost like on offense. On offense, you're trying to find the best matchup, and so you can formation people and put receivers in different spots. We're trying to do a bit of that on defense in the secondary, and get the best matchups and help guys out. So, I mean, we don't want to overdo it because you want some continuity, but those guys, they're the ones that we're moving around, they're experienced enough to handle it and do well.
Is it easier to play up strengths and weaknesses in the secondary when you move those guys around like that?
It is if they're the right kinds of guys. If they're smart, versatile players that understand the scheme, and those guys do. I'm talking specifically about, Ish and AJ. They just have a great feel for playing the different positions. I mean, Ishmael plays really now 3 different positions. He plays safety, he plays nickel, and he plays corner and returner. And so, but he's got a great feel.
What went into Alex Van Dyke playing last week? What was the thought process?
The way he's practiced, he's really made a jump. Early on, he looked really good. Then, like a lot of young guys, he hit a little bit of a lull. Things catch up to him. So we thought, we're going to redshirt him. And then all of a sudden he spiked again. And he looks like a guy that can help us. And I like his height. I love the way he works. He's a good blocker. He's smart. And we're going to continue to work him into the rotation. He's a good football player.
What did Tackers McKinley show you last week?
A lot of speed. Obviously his inexperience showed up. He didn't know whether to get a 3-point or a 2-point at times, But that kickoff he ran down on and blew the guy up, that drew oohs and ahs from the team. A real willingness to learn. He really wants to be a good player, and he's got something that nobody can coach, and that's just that raw burst, explosiveness, and speed off the edge. We need that. We're missing that right now a little bit.
How do you evaluate the pass rush to this point in the season?
It needs to improve. You know, it needs to improve. We need to win more one-on-one battles. We need to do a better job of creating for those guys and putting them in positions to rush when we know it's going to be a pass. But it just needs to improve. You know, I mean, our defensive play needs to improve. So, and it will. We're working hard at it.
What's the status of Kenny Orgiotti?
Kenny is going to have a procedure this morning. He hurt his knee. Thought it was a bruise. It might be something minor, it might be something major. They won't know until they go in there. So he's headed over there to get that done. I'll let you guys know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's just something minor, and maybe he misses this game and he's back next week. But I won't know until they go in and get a look at it.
I know we saw Alex in the boot.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. You know, he's a tough guy. He loves to play. His position doesn't demand a tremendous amount of change of direction, and you know, we're just doing that as a precaution right now.
Was it the ankle?
Yeah, he just rolled his ankle. The way he ran off the field, you would never have known it because he sprinted off the field, and I had no idea what was wrong with him until later. They said we kind of tweaked his ankle a little bit. So, but I think he should be okay. I hope he's okay.
Utah's been holding opponents to under 20 points a game. What have you seen out of the defense so far?
Well, just like last year, physical, disciplined, tackle well, cover well, you know, good scheme. Pretty simple, but they do what they do very well.
What's the biggest difference between Ish now and Ish, you know, a year or 2 years ago?
He's always had confidence in himself, but now I think it's like real deep-rooted confidence. And I think that's because he's made plays, he understands the system, and his work ethic is unbelievable, you know, out of practice. Like, the reason that he makes those plays in games is because, number one, he's got talent, number two, he understands the scheme, but number three, he comes out here at practice and he makes those plays in practice. He hates it when the ball gets caught on him in practice, so he competes every single second of every day, and then it shows up on Saturdays.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, all right, thanks.